All right, here we go. It's the recap lunch hour with me, Guff, Ryan McGuffey, here on the recap. Crazy day in my world. No one really wants to hear it though, right? Off and running, and I'm asking a bunch of questions. Still, it's like the ultimate hangover in the best way here. People are like, "What are you talking about?" Well, Ben Johnson is still the talk of the town. What's up, everybody? I say all the rage. Ben Johnson's making the rounds coast to coast. We're going to do an abbreviated version today of the lunch hour. I'm kind of all over the place, obviously, but want to get it in, make sure we get to our people here on the lunch hour. Ben Johnson has been making the rounds nationally this morning. I don't know if you guys have caught any of it. Old friend Danny Parkins, who's now on FS1 out west, had him on the show, asked him about a certain scenario, hypothetically speaking. It's Thanksgiving Day and the world is watching. The clock is running. You're making progress down the field. Everyone freezes. What do? Ben Johnson did one of these. Also said that we're not going there today. Big news. I don't think it's that big of a news, but Thomas Brown, former interim coach, Eric Washington, who was promoted to defensive interim coordinator, and many others on the staff not retained. There were people out there thinking, oh, maybe Thomas Brown will be his own. No. And that's no disrespect to Thomas Brown. This is about moving on from that regime, bringing in the guys that you want. None of this, well, let's keep him on because he's a nice guy or he did a nice job or we really like him and he connected with some of the players. You have a plan. You sold the plan. You got the job. You get your guys. Broski, what's up? Saying I wouldn't keep a single coach from the old regime. I'd fire the water boys too. I get it. And that's kind of where I'm at. And this has, again, when guys get fired, this is the part, like the life part of it. These guys all have families. They uproot themselves. I get it. But when you're bringing in a new guy and a guy like yesterday who commanded the room as well as anybody as we've seen in this town over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 decades, you've already given him the keys. You gave him the job. You're going to pay him $13 million a year. And now you're going to tell me he's got to keep Thomas Brown or Eric Washington or Chris Beat, somebody else? No. Broski says, besides the DC and OC positions, I'm curious to see who is hired to become O-line coach, quarterback coach, D-line coach, DB coach. I mean, you're pretty much saying, Broski, that you're looking forward to seeing the rest of the staff. I mean, we went out and named 4. I am looking forward to seeing special teams. Is it going to be Brizzy? I think I'm excited to see, period, across the board, who the staff is. I'd like to see some former players in there. Maybe not Chicago. I don't care. Like former NFL players, like the Lions have. Bunch of dudes. What's up, Jimbo? Bunch of dudes. The real Phil Sims. How many wins do you think the Bears will have next year? I'm not going there yet. It's impossible. I mean, we're going to sit here on January 23rd and give win totals. We have zero idea what the roster looks like. We have zero idea what free agency looks like. We have zero idea what the draft looks like. I can't sit here and tell you today how many wins, because if the offensive line looks like it does today, how can I say much more than 7? Their road schedule is not great. Now, that does change from year to year because everybody looked at the Commanders this year like, oh, that's a win. How's that working out? They're still playing. So, I can't answer that question. Maybe 7 right now is my answer. Certainly to change. That's certain to change, Phil. Right now, we don't know the OC and DC. We think it's going to be Dennis Allen, the DC court, but nothing's been named as of right now. Jess, what's up? Good. I'm glad they cleaned house. New year, new coach, new mentality. See, that's where you and I, Jess, you'd be on my staff. I like how Johnson doesn't hand out participation trophies, and the leaders of the team are put on notice. It's my favorite part of the press conference yesterday, Jess. I said that yesterday. When Ben Johnson was asked a question, I think, about accountability, he looks to his left, looks right in the eyes of the 4 players who were there: Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet. Looks him right in the eyes and says, it starts today. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I like that he looked at them. It's a small thing, but it was a big thing to me. I like that he looked them right in the eye and made that comment. Eric, what's up? Friend of the program. Looks like a definite rebuild of the coaching staff, to say the least. Ben Johnson not messing around with this at all. I don't want holdovers. I don't want retreads. I want new. This team needs all of those things. They need the accountability. They need coaching. We didn't see development. I asked you guys a question throughout the year. Pick a player, name a player on the team, regardless of position or which side of the ball, that improved this year. Nobody. Or maybe one or two. I mean, everyone regressed. That's coaching. Coaches are paid to get the best out of their players, putting them in the best positions to succeed. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. There should be no holdovers on this staff. And I know that sucks. The humane part of that sucks. But these guys, a lot of them will continue to coach in the NFL. Hired to be fired. In this town, that's always been the case. Hopefully we can stop doing that. We can put a rest to that kind of stuff. We're all looking forward to seeing the rest of the staff, no doubt. Hector, I want the star-studded staff like Dungy had in the 2000s and Rams had under Martz and so on and so forth. And it's a lot like, that's why I say in modern day, I look at the Detroit Lions is the way to do it. I really do. I love the amount of players that they have, former players that they have on their staff. And it doesn't, like Antoine Randall, obviously big name, really good career. And then you have a guy like Scotty Montgomery, running backs coach, played running back in the league. You don't have to be an all-pro to be a good coach. Sometimes the best coaches are the guys who didn't succeed. You want to look at the Rams. You want somebody like the Rams, Mike Martz days. So, and looking at the Rams here, like let's go to that St. Louis Rams team. You're talking about 2001, the 2001 Rams coaching staff. I'll look that up for you right now. The 2001 St. Louis Rams. I don't know if this is just going to give me the roster and players. But I see what you're saying here. But Lovie Smith was the defensive coordinator, obviously. That worked out, right? I mean, the staff. Mike Holacek at linebacker. Bobby April, former Bear. Special teams. Stan, oh, that's the, we know Stan Kroenke. Bobby Jackson was the running backs coach. Wilbert Montgomery. Henry Ellard was an offensive assistant. I mean, I still think the Rams are better now. Tom, my man. A productive culture requires a shared vision from the top. Nothing from the current toxic culture fits. Again, it's guilt by association here, right? I think that's what it is. Broski, the entire team regress. You can go down the entire. That's like, if you could point to, like, man, I'll tell you what, this team sucked, but the DBs were a great group. Like, they got better as the season went along. Or the tight ends, that group, you could count on them all year. Then you look at that tight ends coach and go, maybe there's something there. Instead, they all ran from the same tree. Richard Hightower likely back reportedly. So exactly, Jeremy, like, there are going to be some. The analytical department is something that Ben Johnson relies heavily on. Just like what I was talking about the look into the eyes, requiring greatness from each and every one of those guys, or they are gone. I loved when he said, we're going to fix the accountability, and then it's going to be on the veteran players eventually, but we're going to make examples of repeat offenders. None of this crap that happened this year. That was one of my favorite things that was said. Jess, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts cutting people that we thought were sure things. I totally agree. Like somebody asked yesterday about, will he be able to unleash, what's the other tight end that was 2 years, $12 million that I think might not be back? I'm blanking. I'll come up with it. Chris, amen. Let the Ben Johnson tree begin. Broski, are you surprised Ben isn't bringing any Lions coaches with him? I'm surprised by that. So I read a report that everyone in Detroit kind of knew that Ben and Aaron Glenn were going to be gone. And I know that Mike Vrabel took a former assistant of his from the Lions to New England as the D coordinator. There was some kind of handshake agreement that the guys would not raid the Lions staff, which I can get that. I understand that. These guys are, you got to remember, like Ben Johnson's been coaching in the NFL for 13 years. He's connected. He's been coaching in Detroit for 6, Miami for 7. These guys know, like, how does he know Dennis Allen? You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, like, the connections these guys make along the way. A lot of good coaches. Who started the rumor about Ryan Poles being fired in order? I know. And that's like, supposedly that was never a thing. I thought in order to get Ben Johnson, like, Ryan might need to get new paper, a contract extension. And front office, like George and Kevin Warren were mum on that yesterday. But yeah, Olin should be there on staff. If he wanted to be, he should be. Obviously, you guys know on our channel, he's as good as they get. We love Olin in terms of how that guy dissects film and gets guys to work and footwork. I know he trained some of these guys in the offseason. You got to step up the offer, though. Can't be 15 an hour. Like players with longer contracts, if he reviews the previous year and thinks he'll be a problem next year, he might tell Poles to cut that guy loose. Yeah, you got to remember the cap hit to some of these guys. You're right, Jess. If this is not, this might be a new 53, a new look 53. Just win, says Corey. Amen. James, great hire, amazing first step, cleaning house with the old staff. Great start by Ben. That's what I was just saying to start this, James. The hangover effect is that this is a good hangover. Like, I can't keep getting every day. I feel like I'm seeing something else that's got me juiced up about the Ben Johnson. So it's like, this is the hangover I've wanted for my entire life. As they should be, Sean. The Cubs need a closer, man. Like, you got to give a guy the ball in the ninth. We're reporting into spring training in 2 weeks. There's no closer still. No, Rudy. Why keep Thomas Brown and Chris Beatty? I mean, I'm being honest. Because they're good dudes? No. No. I don't want. That's what got the Bears in trouble long ago. Hey, we want to give you this head coaching job, but you got to keep Rod Marinelli as the defensive coordinator. Yeah, I'm good. No, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, those days are done. Yeah, I know, Sean. He does. He was at the bowl game. Swayze, what's up? Now that Allen's name has been mentioned for DC, no one else will do. Let's wait and see. It feels like that kind of is a handshake done deal, but I'm not going to write anybody off just yet. Do you think that Johnson will restrict or have an unspoken rule on players being on podcasts and keeping distractions to a minimum? I mentioned yesterday, and obviously we have 2 guys from this past team. I honestly, like, other teams do this. How is it not a distraction for Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce has the most popular podcast and dates the most popular human on the planet. Not a distraction. I'm on Ron St. Brown and his brother have the popular St. Brown podcast. Not a distraction. Like, I think people associating players is bullshit. I really do. They should be allowed to do whatever they want, make some money for themselves. I don't think if that's a distraction, if the podcast is a distraction, that is like beyond not the root of the problem. Okay. I'm okay with Hightower staying. If Ben, here's what I'll say about the coaches. He thinks somebody's good enough to stay, or maybe he's got a former relationship with them. Fine. But I'm just saying that a guy has to stay because he was a good dude or the players responded for him in a tough circumstance, not good enough for me. Purge everything from the Eberflus reign, says Brad. Also, with that he said about tearing the offense down to the studs, tear the raw. Isn't that, I agreed. He's coming in here saying this is not the Bears or the Lions offense. This is the Bears offense. And we need to build from the start over from the foundation. Exactly. Eberflus and Poles were an arranged marriage. Like, coaches' interviews were being done before the GM last time. Tommy, we don't know. I think it might be a name that you're going to go, who? Remember, this person's going to work in tandem. It might be a younger guy with Ben Johnson to put the game plan together. Maybe he's maybe at some point he becomes the hotshot OC everyone wants. Phil, did I see the article from Jack Flaherty in regards to the Dodgers spending money? Tom better put his big boy pants on, come out of pocket and spend. I saw Flaherty say that the Dodgers aren't the problem, that other teams are. I agree with Jack Flaherty. Now, the Dodgers have more money to spend, specifically because of their TV deal, but everybody else crying poor. No. Yeah, that does. Sean, no one's excited about a minor league deal for John Birdie. No one. Red Sea. Remember, Poles wants to do right by the players and coaches, just like Justin. Come on, man. This is a business. I don't think that those things are existing anymore, Red. Ryan Poles' job. Everyone's on the hot seat right now that was already here. So whatever your old plan was, well, let's make sure everyone's nice and friendly. No one cares. All right, guys, I have to wrap this thing up early today. Not that I want to, just kind of have to. We got a lot of moving parts today at the recap offices. I'll try to get like one more. Oh, is it a major? I thought I read minor league deal. Maybe it's a guarantee. Maybe it's a guarantee. But Ken's sick of the rinse and repeat. So Till, what? Ken, I feel you, man. Like I think everyone in there. There's a lot of people that are like Ken. Like we've been here before with the excitement, and then we get to a season. It's 5-12. I get it. And yes, I think PCA is due for big breakout Swayze. Bet of the day. We hit it yesterday. It was a fun one. We had the points, rebounds, assists. Hit that. We're back on the winning edge. Today, I'm going to go with a Bulls game. I know I've been told, stop betting the Bulls. Josh Giddey, I almost went double-double here. He almost had a triple-double the other night. Josh Giddey is averaging almost 7.5 rebounds a game. Dude, when he goes off, that guy grabs rebounds like a dude who's 7'1". I'm going to play the over 7.5 late night game tonight out in Golden State. Over 7.5 rebounds at -120. We're up to 13, 17, and 1. Josh Giddey coming off a double-double. He was an assist shy of a triple-double. I'm riding Josh Giddey. Stay hot. I'm going to go to the NBA props 2 nights in a row here. Josh Giddey over 7.5 rebounds. That will be our recap bet of the day. We've been up 1, down 1, up 1, down 1. We're 11-10 our last 21. What can I tell you? 11-10. All right. That's up 1, down 1, up 1, down 1. Even money. That's the way I look at it. All right. Plenty more to come for the rest of the week. I know that I said I was going to have tickets today for Sox Fest. Might think of a creative way to throw those out to you later today. Remember, you have to be able to go. We do have a pair of Sox tickets for tomorrow. And Jess, I'm going to use this to remind Reinsdorf we are awaiting his podcast episode here. That's why I put that up. Jerry, come talk to us. Come to the office like everybody else. Appreciate you guys as always. This has been another edition of the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey. For everybody at the recap, we appreciate it, and we'll see you guys